What if I told you that you could take a $50 sewing machine, buy the same clothes that everyone else buys, and make them look fantastic on you? All that's sort of a bold claim, I know. I don't really like long intros though, so let's do this. This is my sewing machine, and well, like a lot of sewing machines, it can do a ton of different things. But quite frankly, we don't care about any of that stuff because we just want to take our crappy unfitted clothes and make those clothes look better on us. So because of that, we need to learn way less about this sewing machine than a lot of people think. The top here is for your spool of thread and your bobbin winder, but more on this in a second. And what's funny is you're hardly ever going to use this thing. Now, your bobbin is what makes up the bottom portion of your stitch, and the bobbin, well, it lasts a really, really long time. By that I mean, if you sew something that is using black thread, for instance, you're gonna end up making a bobbin, and you're gonna use that same bobbin on like 12 different garments before you ever have to replace it. So when you aren't winding a bobbin, you can just pretend that this guy isn't even there. This here is kind of self-explanatory. This is your spool of thread, and it has a really nice cap on the end here so that it can prevent your spool from just flying off on you all crazy. Yes, it can happen. Ask me how I know.
I think you should subscribe.
And there's a little notch that's right in here too. When you got some thread pulled through it, you're gonna see a little divot in the plastic. Make sure that you know where that is and make sure that it is facing that direction. If you have the orientation of your thread spool this way, what's gonna happen is it's gonna spin in a circle, and the next thing you know, your thread is gonna get caught in that notch and it is going to snap. Super annoying. Again, ask me how I know. And now for one of the more intimidating parts of a sewing machine. How do you thread this guy? Well, funnily enough, they make it ridiculously easy for you, as in they put numbers on every single step and put little pictures on how you're supposed to thread it. It's so easy. It's so easy a caveman can do it. And bro, look at that. Just like that, you have mastered the top of a sewing machine. This is where a lot of the magic happens, and people get a little bit scared, but the funny thing is like we talked about, this sewing machine can do a lot of different things, but we don't care about 97% of them. The fundamental concept of every single sewing machine made in the last like 100 years has not changed at all. It asks you 3 questions. What type of stitch do you want to make? How long do you want that stitch to be? And how wide? And since a sewing machine can do a lot of different things, it has a lot of different features, but we just wanna take our crappy clothes and make them not look crappy on us, right? Right, so because of that, there's only 2 types of stitches that we use on this sewing machine. A straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. And a straight stitch is gonna make just a new, much more flattering look on our garments, on our shirts, our chinos, jeans, everything. And what a zigzag stitch is gonna do is it's gonna finish up that job for us to make sure everything is nice and tight and secure. Sew it like a toiga. And for the length of this stitch, what we do is we set that to 2.5. Well, what do those numbers mean? Well, the numbers are for the length of each individual stitch in millimeters, and 2.5 millimeters, well, that's the length of a standard stitch on your garments as you get them from the store. So since we want to replicate that, we just set it to 2.5. And question number 3, how wide? Well, if we're making a zigzag stitch, that question matters because that's gonna give us control over how far from side to side the needle goes as it overlaps our garment as it's making that zigzag stitch. But if we're just making a straight stitch, that question is NA. And moving on down below, this is what's gonna make our clothes look fantastic on us. This is where it all happens. And all you gotta do is just thread your needle, and the thread from the top spool of thread combined with the thread from the bobbin spool are gonna be combined together in order to make a stitch. This back here, this is your presser foot, and these down here are your feed dogs. And these 2 parts work in tandem. The presser foot is gonna hold down your garment, it's gonna hold it in place, and your feed dogs are actually gonna be moving your garment back away from you. That's right, because when we're sewing, we're not actually pushing anything through. You're just guiding it. You're just letting the machine do the work for you, like guiding light. That's weird that I made a reference to a 90s soap opera twice in 2 videos now. See, I told you, it ain't that hard. It's easy. Let's go put these skills to the test. I'll see you in the next video. SD out. See ya.